All right, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to the Edison Club. Today, I'm bringing you my 6th place finishing top 8 Lightsworn deck list from the Side Deck Gaming Cafe tournament this past weekend in South Carolina. So, before we get started, as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Really just motivates me to keep going, making stuff like this for you guys. Also, don't forget that this Saturday is the 1K cash tournament 1K cash prize tournament at Big Boy Gaming in Smithfield, North Carolina. I will be there. I'll actually be streaming round one every round, or table one every round, and it's going to be my first time streaming something of this stature, so sure we'll have a couple hiccups along the way, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that everyone ends up enjoying it. So without further ado, let's jump into the deck list. And like I mentioned in the start, this is pure Lightsworn. I do not care for the Christiasworn variant. I did test that variant for a few months pretty relentlessly, and the results, at least for myself, were just not there. I don't really care for the deck. I do like some of the cards that pure Lightsworn gets to play that Christiasworn doesn't. So let's start off here. Starting things off, we have three of everyone's favorite doggy, Raikou Lightsworn Hunter. Very good spot removal, very good throughout the course of the game, actually, pretty much during the start, the middle, and the late game. It can come up, especially in simplified board states, so I do like to play three. Next up, we have 2 copies of Celestia. This is our Gladiator Beast Gazares of the deck. She is very, very strong. Really do like her. Next up, we have 2 copies of Jane, Lightsworn Paladin, our 2100 beater of the deck, mills 2. This is actually one of my favorite ones of the deck. And I actually have considered playing Rhoda to be able to get to this and Garoth and Aaron a little bit easier. All right, next up we have 2 copies of Lila. Actually considered just going down to 1 of her. The deck is actually geared toward beating Blackwing in game 1, so there are a few choices in here that some people would normally incorporate, but I didn't because I wanted the Blackwing matchup. I want to be able to build the deck for the Blackwing matchup to make it a little bit easier because the matchup is terrible. This card's not very great into them. Like, sure, I can summon this and pop their Whirlwind, but then Shura trades with this. 1700 attack stats a little weird, but you can't just assume every round you're going to play against Blackwing, so this does come up against other decks too, so I think you kind of have to play 2, even if it is kind of weak in the Blackwing matchup. One card that this deck gets to really take full advantage of is Wolf. A lot of the Christiasworn lists now have actually gone to playing Wolf, but the original build of Christiasworn I was trying actually was not playing Wolf, and I really missed it. Sometimes just like hard milling one of these guys or foolish burying one of these guys for the free body can just win you games because you're like very low commitment to really high attack point monsters. So I really like Wolf at 2. You could go down to 3 or go up to 3. I don't think I'd go down to 1. I think 2 is just right. For the 1-ofs, we have 1 Arcus, prevents targeting. We have Lumina, we'd play more if we could, but she's limited. 1 Aaron, and 1 Garoth. These are all fine at 1. No real reason to play any more than 1. I did consider maybe playing a second Aaron in the side deck, just for matchups that set a lot of monsters, but 1 was okay. That's everything for the Lightsworn monsters. Then the supporting cast, we obviously have the main win con. We have 2 copies of Judgment Dragon, pay 1,000, nuke the field. Everyone knows who this guy is by now. If you don't, you've been living under a rock. We play 2 because we can only play 2. We also have Double Honest, of course, helping you get over problematic cards. And then we also have 1 Super Nimble Mega Hamster. This was something I wanted to try out just as a 4th copy of Raikou. Probably one of the weaker cards of the deck. I actually didn't really care for this guy all that much. 1 Plague Spreader Zombie, it's always included. 1 Tragodia, 1 Gores, so yeah, more cards, defensive cards that the deck gets to play, where Christiasworn normally doesn't play these, alongside Necrogarna. And another card that I played that I really didn't want to play was Card Trooper. Card Trooper, once again, in the Blackwing matchup is automatic side out because it's not very good, just gets ran over by Shura. But I did pretty much decide that there's nothing better to put in this slot, so did end up main decking the Card Trooper, which was fine. Going into spells, we have 1 Charger Light Brigade because it's at 1, 3 Solar Recharge. We also have 2 Book of Moon, which was my favorite spell of the day. Every time I saw this card, it was just fantastic. Lots of different things you can do in the deck with this card. Considered actually going up to playing 3 of this one, so very, very good. There's Book of Moon. Then we have Foolish Burial. Lots of different things we can send. We can send Necrogarna, Plague Spreader. We can send Wolf. Lots of things. We have Pot of Avarice. Another card that I actually wasn't too sure on at first, but I think it won. I think it's really, really good. Put all your guys back. Put Gores and Trag back. The most underwhelming card for me of the day was actually Cold Wave. I didn't really care for Cold Wave much because a lot of times I would have Cold Wave paired with something like Pot of Avarice or something like Foolish Burial, where I wanted to be able to use both cards, but Cold Wave obviously just doesn't let you do that. So I'm actually considering main decking True Nade instead of Cold Wave. Then we have Heavy Storm and Brain Control, the two that you pretty much see in most deck lists in Edison format. Then we also have 2 copies of Beckoning Light, gets back our Judgment Dragons, gives back our Honest. And for the last 2 cards, a little bit different from something that most people play. I actually played Torrential and Mirror Force. Normally when I play Pure, I make these 2 Threatening Roar, but I actually wanted to try this out. I didn't really see these all day, so I can't really comment on whether they were good or not, but I think in theory they were very good in the Blackwing matchup, keeping their monsters off the field. And it's something that you don't really expect running up against in Lightsworn, so I'll continue to test this out. Maybe eventually I will draw them and actually get to see how they actually work, but that was not the case Saturday. I guess I didn't need them though, so. In the side, we did play the 1 True Nade that I mentioned earlier, which will probably go to the main. Played 2 Soul Taker, outs of the dupe block. It's pretty good against Dimensional Alchemist. Pretty good against Archlord Christia. It was good. I really did like this one. Then 2 DD Crow for graveyard matchups. 2 Royal Decree for trap decks, because we all know we're going to run up against people playing Lightmere. 2 Fossil Dyna. This was for stuff like Quick Draw. I never ran up against Quick Draw, but I think that it would have been pretty good against them. It's also like hidden synergy with like summon Fossil Dyna to stun them out. Maybe hit something small. If they have a board of stuff that they've already committed to specialing, you can like book your own Fossil Dyna when they attack it and nuke their field, which is pretty cool. So 2 Consecrated Light for the Blackwing matchup, 1 Shiny Black Sea for the Blackwing matchup as well. 2 Cyber Dragon, didn't encounter any Machina, but you never know. And then 1 Mind Crush because it is pretty generic. So that was the side deck. We'll go over the extra deck really quick here. It's fairly standard for Edison format. Shouts to the Time Wizard token. We have Colossal Fighter, Chimeritic Fortress Dragon, Mistworm. I did play Dark End Dragon. You can't make it yourself, but I played this in case you had Brain Control. And you could like take someone's Armed Wing or take someone's Caius, stack for Plague, and make this guy. So it's worth the slot. You have a lot of extra space in Lightsworn. Thought Ruler Archfiend. We also have Black Rose Dragon, Brionac. My favorite level 6, Flamville Urquazas, does piercing, gains 300 every time it does. Tempest Magician to close out games. Catastor and Android, never really make these guys. Armory Arm, we don't really make this guy. Stardust Dragon and Goyo Guardian. Obviously these come up. And then the last card I actually played was Doom Kaiser Dragon, because I figured since we do play Plague Spreader and we do play Brain Control and we do play Tragodia, so if you play against zombies, you can make this guy reborn like their zombie master, pitch a card, bring back something else. So it was worth it. I didn't play against zombies. My friend Justin did, and he was also on Doom Kaiser, and he said that it ended up working out pretty good for him. So yeah, guys, that's the deck. This is the 6th place finishing Lightsworn list, pure Lightsworn. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back with more soon. This is Mike from the Edison Club signing out until the next one.